Hey there, everyone. Welcome
Happy
to Nerd
Friday,
Talk.
everybody.
How's it going?
Welcome.
We're having fun conversations before the show to make ourselves laugh, and because it wasn't as if we all just came from work and we're all really tired and really annoyed.
Yeah, that's nothing to do with it.
Work.
Whatsoever.
No, but we had a fantastic conversation beforehand. Now we're all laughing like idiots before the intro roll. The intro
Rolling
rolls.
intro. That was
had a bit of
great.
an oopsie. I didn't listen well.
Do you ever listen?
He didn't use his listening ears.
So what are these for?
They're for hearing.
I can't hang glide with them.
Well, they're for
I've
hearing, not
tried.
for listening.
They don't work very well. Welcome to Nerd Talk. I was say we have stuff for you this Friday. We have some interesting things going on in the
Avengers.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of trailers.
If you haven't seen Endgame,
We're sorry.
you may want to boot it for a few minutes. I'm not.
I haven't seen it, but it's my own damn fault. So
I was say I'm not gonna go overboard with it and spend the whole show on it. It's a waste of time. Most people who have,
3000.
we'll get to that. Most people who have seen it already, they've either seen it once or twice, and they have a good understanding of what's going on. Because there really wasn't like any open-ended things. Because normally with Marvel movies, there's an open-ended trailer in which, when we go to it, there's an open-ended cutscene at the end, an after-credit scene, just to kind of lead to the next movie, and that's where theories come from and spawn from. There's nothing in this one. It's just not there. To give a quick thing, at the end of the trailer, or the end of the very end of the movie, end of the credits, through all the thank yous and all that for the 22 movies,
Yeah.
you hear a Forge sound while the Marvel logo is playing. Went and did my research. That sound is from Iron Man 1 when he's making the armor in the cave for the first time. When he builds his first suit and he's hand forging it, that's the sound
Just
you're hearing.
tying all the movies up.
Yeah, it's the
so is that the first movie?
Yeah.
first
Okay.
movie, the clip from the first movie, the very end of the last movie, it just tying everything up in a nice little bow and going, these 22 movies all have something to do with each other. Watch them all before you watch one of them. It's like, okay.
You can't just watch just one.
The next
like
set of
Pringles.
movies that are coming, we do know there's some. We know the Rooster Brothers aren't going to be involved with it, which is fine. That's okay. Besides letting new directors come in and do things, it's a-okay. Directors want to do new stuff, man. They don't want to keep rehashing the same thing. That's when you milk something dry. And to be honest with you, Infinity War was getting there. Some of these Marvel movies, I'm like, it's very rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Ooh, Rob's listening to us back there very closely with the speakers because I can hear it myself. It's like ASMR for myself. You guys can't hear it because it's in the next room over. All right. Mike's still inviting people, so I'm trying to stall because he's the only other person here at this table who's seen Endgame.
Oh, I'm ready whenever you are.
I'm trying to stall a little bit as he invites people to watch.
No, I'm not actually inviting. I can just do watch parties now. It won't let me invite.
Okay.
Facebook's being a jerk, saying,
been
nope, you can't
banned.
invite again.
You did it too much.
You're
You pissed
banned for a
somebody
while.
off.
Probably. You invited everybody in your friends list literally every
time.
week. Like,
I'm sorry for everybody on my friends list.
positive.
People probably complained.
People
probably
Right.
do.
They probably
This
blocked
dude.
you. You've had enough blocks where Facebook's just like, all right, I'm going to save everyone some headaches. I'm just,
We're
Not
cutting it.
allowed. You're done.
your invite privilege has been taken away.
So let's start beginning of the movie, how it opened up. Hawkeye.
We saw the lasting effects of the snap. We saw the early snaps victims, as in like, what was it? It was like 21 days.
Yeah. So first you see Hawkeye's family disappear.
Yep, you see
Oh,
him
really?
lose his shit, where he's just
Ooh.
like, God.
Like his whole family?
Yeah.
Oh,
shit.
so I want to point out. Okay, we'll do some math.
Which is the
real quick.
first time actually the word Hawkeye
So-
appears in a movie. Because they've never called him Hawkeye.
They call
He
him
calls
Clint.
his daughter that.
Okay.
So let's do some math real quick. I know a lot of us have graduated high school. We're past stats and whatnot, but I just want to kind of bring stats up real quick. So in this case, in which you were to get snapped and half the population disappears, you have a family of what? He has two sons and a daughter, right?
Yes.
So
and
it's a
his wife.
family. So it's a family of 5, right? Two sons and a daughter. Family of 5. Real quick, let's just do the odds where you are the unlucky motherfucker to manage to be the only one who didn't get snapped.
And lose your whole family.
So the odds of them to lose 2 or 3 are pretty fair. 50% roughly.
Yeah. Give you that.
The problem is it's 50% per person. So it's 50% times 50%, because for each person that's taken away, you have to redo the math. You have to reapply that 50% to the family. So the first one has a 50-50 shot. The second one has a 0.25. The second one has a 0.125. The fourth one has a 0.000225. I'm just sitting here like, how unlucky are you to get removed? Like, what are the odds you lose your entire family except you?
So it didn't happen all immediately? It happened over 21 days?
No, it all happened at
immediately.
once.
It just,
Oh, okay.
because so many people wanted to know what happened to Hawkeye. So they gave it to us. He lost his family very quickly, which is good because they needed to show his transformation.
Which originally, they said the original ending for Infinity War was just going to be right before the snap. Then the snap was supposed to happen in this movie.
I'm
But
glad
they decided
they did the
to do the
snap.
snap in the last
I'm
movie.
glad they did.
I wanted to see our heroes lose for a little bit longer and then leave us sitting there lost. I'm just like, nice, that's a good touch. Because letting the heroes win every single movie is not fun.
It's not.
I actually, believe it or not, I really, really enjoyed the ending of Ultron. Because that is the most loser-ish win we've had in
Yeah.
our lives. It's like, guys, we saved the day. It's like an entire city just crumbled into the earth, killing 21,000 people. And a Quicksilver.
So
They're
after we see
yeah, my bad.
his family disappearing, we go what, to Stark?
Yep, we do a real quick thing to Stark. We jump over to Stark for a few minutes, talk to him.
He gets
He's ready to
saved.
die. Oxygen's about to go out like the next morning, so he's like, I got like 6 hours of life left in this ship. We're just floating in space.
Who saves him?
Captain Marvel, she's on her way back to Earth to pick everybody up,
And she sees
and
him.
she goes, "Oh hey Stark," or "Oh hey, you guys seem lost," and it's just like, "Oh you're Stark," and blah 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 blah. Basically, she knew where to look. It was around Titan, to where this she knew where to look. Went and got him, brought him to Earth. Coolio Doolio.
The biggest savior of the whole movie was the rat.
Yeah,
If it wasn't for the rat, the movie wouldn't have happened.
when she lands, 21 days later happens. So it is, we owe it in this room to everyone to at least try, blah, 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 blah. And Tony's just like, we can't, we lose, guys. We don't win this. There's no scenario to win. We tried to win and we lost.
But 5 years happened then, because that's when Scott comes.
Yeah, everyone, well, after this, that's before
Yeah.
everyone's freaking the hell out because that's,
So there's a lot of time jumps in the movie.
yeah. Because the thing
Okay.
is, what you just forgot, is they went and found Thanos.
Yeah, yeah.
Before the 5 years happened, at the end of the 21 days, Nebula, when they first get there, Nebula reveals where he is. She's like, I know the planet. She's like, we can go there right now. And they do.
So they get the team back.
They
go
kick
get
his ass. By the
Thor,
way, he's
which
used.
is fat.
He's used, not yet,
Yes, because Thor.
to kill him for the first time?
Yes.
No, that's what caused that. That's what caused it. You've seen the movie twice. How are you still
Thor
fucking
took his
stuff
head
up?
off.
We haven't got there yet.
Okay.
God
I
damn
thought
it,
we were at
Mike.
that point
You've
already.
seen the movie twice and you're still fucking up the timeline. Gets everyone together. Well, half everyone together.
Right.
Thanos has now used the stones twice. Once to do the snap, and then once to destroy the stones. Because only a stone can destroy a stone. So he had them destroy each other. He's almost dead. He's got one limp arm that can barely do anything. Like the left side of his body is just, ugh. He's just kind of, okay, I'm just kind of going through the motions here. I'm all scabbed up and burnt, and they literally kick him while he's down. Come in, they all pin him down. It takes like 6 people, and he's just like, I'm not fighting. He's like, I did it. I won. It's over. He's like, I achieved what I want. Stones are gone. Can't undo it. Thor gets pissy, takes off his head, and he's just like, oh, he's like, go for the head. And I'm just like, ah ha ha. Reference to the last movie. Why don't you sound happy about that? Because no one was happy about that. Because everyone was just like, what in the hell did you just do? And he's like,
I went for the head.
I went for the head. And I'm just like, no, you have to do interrogations first. Yeah, then 5 years later happens. Everyone's in deep depression of some sort because you've lost your loved one for the last 5 years.
Right.
It's really, really hard to do that when it's so sudden.
Right.
Because some people didn't just lose, their spouse and with that, so they lost their kids too.
Right.
Let's also not forget the fact that, everyone who's driving down a highway
Or flying
They're
a
all
plane.
they're all dead now.
So which brings me
So
to
we
a
lost
question.
even more.
So we know when everybody came back from the snap, they came back where they left off. For the planes that crashed,
They just spawned in the air.
did they spawn in the air or did they spawn in the plane that's on the ground crashed?
So they did reverse it
They
and brought
didn't
everybody
revert
back.
it at the time of happening. They reverted it 5 years later. So the plane is no longer crashed. I'm positive they would have cleaned that up by now. They cleaned that up after like 2 days.
So where did everybody spawn back
I would
at?
imagine they spawned back on the planet. They just
Somewhere.
spawned standing. They spawned in a relative location from where they were. For example, the Spider-Man was laying on the ground, and he said he woke up from a nap, was what it felt
Yeah.
like. So I assume the
Well,
rest of them would
and-
just wake up from a nap.
When he disappeared, he was up in space.
Well,
He
he
was
was
on
in
Titan.
Tony's arms on Titan, dying.
Right.
So,
So he
I don't know.
couldn't have respawned back
did
where he
Spider-Man
was.
like appear like a foot off the ground, like thump his
Fell.
head, just like son of a bitch?
That was a weird nap.
What the hell is that? Stark, where'd you go? You were just holding me a few seconds ago. Felt really nice, Dad. It's just like, no.
Yeah, so they jump 5 years. You see Thor, he's fat now.
And the Asgardians have moved to Earth, right where Odin wanted them originally. Where he's like, I come to this place all the time. He's like, this is where I want the new people, and he brings them there after Ragnarok because Asgard's dead, so they called it New Asgard. Go figure.
Of course.
Thor's a fat drunken hero because he killed Thanos, so he's living up in his hut. Doesn't talk to anybody, very secluded.
He's with the two people from Ragnarok.
Yeah, the two aliens, the one rock dude, it's like Krog, and
They're
The
playing
one
Fortnite.
from the prison.
yeah.
Hey there. Yeah, the very formal one. It's something. They're playing Fortnite on their PlayStation.
That's awful.
Thor gets really, really pissy at Noob Slayer 69, which I think is hilarious. He's like, Thor, he's like, this kid in the game, he's making fun of me again. Thor picks up the headset, and he's just like, hey there, Noob Slayer 69. He's just like, it's Thor, again, God of Lightning. If you don't get off this game right now, I'm just like, oh no.
I'm going to come over there.
I want to point out, in Ragnarok, he was all happy, he was jokey, he's just here, he's making fun of the big demon, but Noob Slayer ain't got no time for you.
John said it's Disney, they spawned on Earth. And he also said I was distracted by John during the second movie because John was hyper the whole time.
Well, stop being a giddy child. We'll be fine.
So what saved the whole thing was that rat.
Yeah, so, Dude McDude, Ant-Man, dude, he's still sitting in the quantum realm, just chilling, like,
Don't know what's going on.
it's
only
because to
minutes
him
for
it's
him.
been. I was saying it's been 5 hours for him.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else was 5 years because the quantum realm doesn't apply the regular laws of physics.
Okay, so that's
he's
why
like-
it takes him 5 years to show
Yeah,
back
he's
up.
like, man, it took a really long time. Well, no, they put all the stuff in lockers in storage because obviously storage units for people that disappeared in case they came back. They put all their stuff into a storage locker and they labeled it. They're like this, so it was his locker since it was his van.
Okay.
It was a cheap one. Obviously, they didn't spend a lot of money on it. There was rats in there. Rat is inside the car now. Rat walks
Press
over.
the right amount of buttons on
Press the button,
machine.
turns the thing on, launches him out of the quantum realm, and he's like, "Man, that took a long time." Guys,
So then he goes to find his family and finds out his daughter's alive, 5 years older.
you see the effects of the snap in that scene too.
Yeah.
Is where like trash is piled up. It's almost post-apocalyptic.
Right, because there's half the amount of people on the earth to take care of
People,
shit.
Yeah.
people are looting now. There's trash is piled up. People have just quit their jobs and just not worked anymore. You see like the baseball stadium is permadark.
Empty.
There's just no one
Wow.
there. It's
so like real
nothing.
dystopian.
Everything has a real dark tone to it. It's
The
like a
docks,
DC, it's like
all
a
the
DC
ships
movie.
are just pushed up on the dock.
Okay.
I would say all the fishermen stopped. They all just pulled up, but they all hung up the keys. They're like, we're done. They're like, we lost our families. Like, who do we go home to provide for now?
Right.
And a lot of them lost the provider as well. So it's just like, they're like,
That's
what do we
crazy.
do? So one of the
Ant-Man
things,
comes back.
yeah,
He has an idea.
we
He
see
shows
whales
up
in the
back to
Hudson.
Avengers Tower,
tower,
the Avengers building,
shield. Yeah, I would say the facility.
and he has an idea. Oh, we can go back in time. We
gonna-
need someone smart to do this.
We're gonna Back to the Future this shit.
Oh,
Let's go to
yay.
Tony Stark. And of course, Stark's like, nope, not going to do it.
Hell no, he's a kid now. He's like, I
have
don't
a
want to do
kid.
this.
I have a life. No,
He's
not
like, I'm
doing
gonna die, and I know it, and I'm foreshadowing it really really, really hard I'm foreshadowing I'm going to die.
So they decide, okay, who else do we know that's smart? Let's go see Bruce. Bruce ain't Bruce.
Bruce is Banner Hulk now.
Yeah, the
He's
professor.
merged themselves.
Oh,
Which
that's
So
fun.
he's Hulk, but he's got Banner's mind.
Yeah.
So it's Banner talking, just controlling the body. I was like,
That's interesting.
it's a useful ability. Your problem is Banner doesn't have a temper, so
Right.
all that
Which we see
unlimited-
that later.
All that unlimited strength is just gone. So
That's, yeah, I can
you
see
just
that
kind of
not
have
being
a
as
relative
useful.
large more amount, like a lot more strength, obviously. Just putting zero effort into it, kind of puts his fist down on like the roof of a car and it caved in.
Yeah.
But
So pretty much they figure out, oh, we can go back in time. Tony decides to help them, and they all go separate time areas.
not without turning Ant-Man into a baby first.
Yeah. An old man.
Yep,
And he
an old
pissed
man.
himself.
Man.
And he's not sure whether it was baby him, current him, or old man him. He's like, one of them peed. And I'm just like, okay, cool.
So they all go back in different time periods to go get the stones, which one was from
Okay.
the original Avengers movie to New York there.
Mm-hmm.
The other was to Guardians of the Galaxy. Then they went to
What do they do?
The
Do they
planet.
just like
Went
Soul
stole the
Stone.
stone
whip up
themselves.
and grab the stone and
pretty
then
much.
flip
Yeah,
it back?
and then just
So they
yeet it out.
they
Yeah,
found
just
out they had to.
laters.
Hulk went to go to Doctor Strange, so
Mm-hmm.
he goes there, but Strange ain't there. The lady's there.
yeah. To kind of clarify real quick, Back to the Future has no effect on this movie, by the way.
Neither does
it's
Hot
used
Tub
as-
Time Machine.
Yeah.
Which Hot Tub Time Machine? You know what's funny? Sebastian Stan, is that his name? The guy that plays Bucky.
Yeah.
He's officially an actor in this movie because he's in Hot Tub Time Machine, and they reference that movie.
What?
All right then. That's cool though. I like the
It
fact
was
he's in
interesting.
that. Okay. Yeah, we find out that Marvel made their own rules for time because there's no set in stone rules for time.
Right.
So they kind of explained, Marvel tries to pull that thing where they're like, well, time's not linear, and then how do we compare? How do they show it with a line? And I'm like, okay, so time is linear, you pieces of shit.
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. You're a Doctor Who fan. You understand
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Time's not linear. It's all over the place. It's
Yeah.
timey-wimey. It's its own thing.
It is.
That's when Sorcerer Supreme, Mr. Bald Lady, or Mrs. Bald Lady comes back with no eyebrows, so she looks like an alien. I'm true. Look at anybody without eyebrows. Look like an alien.
Yeah, no,
you ever
they
seen
do.
Anne
They
Hathaway
look-
without
yeah, I
eyebrows?
have.
It's terrifying.
I love
she
that
looks
picture.
she looks like the alien from Alien.
she does. Eyebrows mean something.
Yeah, exactly. Leave your eyebrows in your face, ladies and gentlemen. They're very important. A lot more important than you think. But she explains how the Infinity Stones make time, and I'm like, I'm not entirely sure how true that is. Only for the fact of if you go to another timeline, the stones are there in their own right. So I mean, whatever. She's like, if you
Yeah.
remove the time stones from this timeline, you make an alternate reality. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm like, this is how we're gonna go through universe to universe to universe to universe to universe to universe to universe. Cool. This is how. So we had one universe. Now we have a million because we're gonna keep messing with the
So
stones.
they set up
Well,
Yeah.
no, they had
future
to.
movies.
They
in order-
set up a multiverse.
Yeah, but they had to go back in time and put those stones back exactly the moment they got them.
Except they lost track of two of them.
One of them.
Technically two.
So they go back in time to part in Avengers where they capture
Loki.
and you find out why he has that mask on him.
Okay.
When they arrest
Oh,
him.
because he kept making fun of Captain America.
Yeah.
He would like turn to like Captain America. He's like, I'll head down to the street and start doing search and rescue. And he turns to Captain America. Oh, down to the street and start doing search and rescue. And then turns back. He's like, honestly, how do you listen to that all day? And I'm just sitting here, just like, man, has a point.
So they
So
go.
Thor gets all pissed and he's just like, shut up, and puts the thing on his mouth. I'm just like, oh, that's where the muzzle came from. Okay.
So this explains why Loki's technically alive for the new TV show they announced.
Yeah.
Is it going to be the same Loki?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Tom
Oh, it
Hiddleston.
is.
They
That's
messed up. They knocked stuff from his hands. The Tesseract literally landed in front of his feet, and all the guards, because Tony, they had to give him a mild heart attack. So Ant-Man was inside his chest piece, gave him a heart attack because at the time he didn't have the
The
stuff
past
pulled out.
Tony, not the current
Yeah,
Tony.
and
Okay.
that was Tony's plan. He was just like, just go pull that plug. He's like, they can undo it really, really
Give me a
easily.
heart attack. It's okay.
He's like, it's just a mild heart attack. And he went, oh, it's not very mild, but okay. They unplug him, and they drop the Tesseract. I'm like, who in the fuck?
They dropped it
Infinity
because
Stone. He
Stark got hit by Hulk. Hulk.
Past Hulk comes running down the stairs, knocks current Stark away. Stone goes flying, lands in front of Loki. Loki picks it up and then teleports out. And I'm just like, so remember the timeline thing she showed us, where she's like, time's not a line, but she demonstrates it with a line, and
This
showed us
just
like,
happened.
if you miss one stone, then it goes off into an alternate timeline. Where he's like, I'll put the stones back. Okay, can't put that one back. He has it.
That's why they had to go farther back
Great.
in time to get that
So
stone.
he's just like, so how do we go back in time even further? Or it was like, where else have the stones been? They're just like, the 1970s, and here we go back to home of Captain America, and they go and get the stone back.
We see Jarvis, the human version of him.
Yeah, we see the butler, the voice
cool.
actor, which is super neat.
That's awesome.
God, it's funny because we're only like halfway through this movie.
Yeah. So pretty much fast forward, they get all the stones. Thanos finds out what happened because
I thought they killed him.
because they go back in time.
Nebula fucked up. Not her fault technically. So she is based on a server. Come to find out, like her robotic side.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're going through the server on the ship, Nebula, they're like, whose memories are these? These aren't Nebula's.
She has a little R2D2 moment where a video plays.
Yeah,
in front
and
of her.
they're like, it's another Nebula moment, and Thanos goes, I want to watch all of her memories, just for for ha-has, and they find out they find the future Nebula's memories, so they see that they killed Thanos, they see that he won, they see all this shit, and they see how, and Thanos goes, time to do it again.
Let's have some fun.
So he goes, all right, cool. He's like, bring her to me. They go and capture current Nebula, find her suit that they used to go to the past, and they're looking at the technology, and they went, it's that easy? Huh. Apply it to the whole ship.
So they go to the future.
So the whole damn ship just kind of comes to the future, and he drops the army. Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
So this battle,
If you thought the
That's
Infinity
cool.
War battle was big,
right from the beginning, he's sitting there, and Stark, Captain America, and Thor go down there and start the fight, and they get their ass beat. They were getting beat up.
yeah, we get to see Thanos not abuse. Like, in the first one, we got to see him abuse the glove, where he just constantly kept using the stones to mess around people. Now we just saw him and his twin blade.
Very cool.
Unorganized fighters versus a combat veteran. He just throws them around
Yeah.
like they're nothing. He's just kind of like, is
The
this?
shield gets destroyed.
He's like, how did you guys kill Future Me like this? I'm curious.
But one of the funniest things, Thor, when he went back in time to go get his stone, he got his hammer back.
Yeah, he called
Oh,
Mjolnir
okay.
Because he was there when the scene where his mom dies.
Oh, okay.
So he gets his hammer. So he goes back to the future. He has his hammer now. And
That's
he
cool.
has the other one, too.
The other thing. That's cool.
Yep. So, and then, as he's getting his ass kicked by Thanos, Cap pulls some bullshit, picks up the hammer, which only the worthy can pick it up, and throws it at the back of Thanos' head.
And Thor goes,
And then
I
it
knew
comes
you
back.
were worthy.
And he's like, I knew you were worthy. Oh, I'm just like, yeah, that makes sense. There we go. Cap was finally worthy.
The funniest part was Thor had the hammer at one point. Captain had the other weapon. And Thor's like,
You get the small
you
one.
take the small one. Give me that one back.
No, give me that one. You took the small one. It's so good.
That's cool.
We got a really cool nod to when Cap was getting the stone. Cap was getting his stone. We got a really cool nod to the elevator scene from Civil War. Well, it was Civil War, where the Hydra agents were in the elevator and they all turned on him. Instead of the fight scene, though, it was a really cool nod to the comics, where just recently we had the comic everyone hated, where he was a Hydra agent. So instead, because he knew he was Hydra, because he knew all the people in the elevator, all he did was just like, Senator wants me running point on this one, and they're just like, I don't know about that one. He's like, I'm going to call it in. He goes, don't worry, hail Hydra.
Whispers in the ear, and the guy's like,
And the guy just goes, oh, he knows.
Here you
He's
go.
part of us. Take the case. And they literally just he walks out of the elevator by himself, like 8 armed guards just staying in the elevator, just chilling. They're like, who's going to take it from him?
That's awesome.
then there's a joke about that's America's ass.
That's America's ass. Yeah, no, Iron Man being
I saw some of those memes.
Iron
Yeah.
Man, being a little bit of a fruit he is, proceeded to point out when they were pinning Loki down. He's like, Cap, he's like, that old suit, he's like, it did nothing for your ass. Ant-Man, being a massive fanboy and kiss ass, proceeds to go, He's like, listen, Cap. He's like, I think your ass looks great. He's like, if anything, he's like, that's America's ass. And Cap's just like, okay, thanks. Well, Cap runs into himself, and he's just like, I've got Loki. He's got the scepter. He's like, I'm going to stop him. And he's just like, I'm not Loki. No. Damn it. And they get into a fight.
Then a past Cap goes, I can do this all day. He's like, yeah, I know,
He pulls the classic Cap quote. He's like, I can do this all day. And you could tell new Cap is just, I'm so done with this shit. Yeah, I know. Just shut up and let's go. Very tired. Ends up squaring up, knocking his old self out. And then while he's knocked out, he looks down at his own ass. He goes, that is America's ass. And I'm just like, you piece of shit. Shut up.
That's awesome.
Oh my God. It was a really, really funny scene. They kind of just roll through that, and I think it's everything from that time area. God, there's so many. This movie is chock full of references, and I'm really glad they did it the way they did it, because shows like us, we can all be naming something, and we're gonna name different stuff from other shows.
Yeah.
Other podcasts, I'm sure, have talked about this already, and they're starting to spoil. Like, it's been a week now. Everyone's starting to creep into spoiling stuff and start talking about a few things from the show. From the movie.
One of the best things I thought was the very end. So there was a funeral, and they're going by group from all the movies, and you go to, was it Spider-Man at the end, where you see that one lone kid by himself?
No, it was the
I can't remember. Guardians?
Yeah, it was behind the Guardians.
There was a kid behind Guardians. He was like a teenager. We couldn't figure out who the hell it was.
Yeah, when we first saw the movie, we're sitting here like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, why? I'm like, some random ass kid in, what looks like a hoodie and jeans.
Yeah.
So some poor kid sitting here at Tony Stark's funeral. Oh, spoiler alert. That's Tony's.
It was the kid from Iron Man 3 that helped Tony, the little boy.
The kid who
up.
rebuilt his suit for him. I'm like, they threw that kid out. Okay.
That's cute.
Future Stark employees, by the way.
So there is a thing, apparently they might be going to the new movie, or at least in Spider-Man, when Parker goes back to school, you see a teacher. Apparently that teacher was one of the people in the Captain Marvel movie. He was one of the spies that helped Captain Marvel.
What, like a Skrull?
Yeah, he was one of the Skrull, but
that's
helped.
fair.
So the Skrulls may be in this still. So this could go
real
to
quick
the
to
movie
anybody,
for that.
I would say to anybody who doesn't know, I'm gonna go ahead and break it for anyone who's seen Captain Marvel. Don't worry, the Skrulls are assholes too. Do not think that the Kree are like, some bunch of jackasses who are like, oh, we're hell-bent on destruction, blah, 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 blah. The Kree and the Skrull have been having a war for a long-ass time, and it's kind of unclear who started who. We both know that they're generally assholes. The Skrull do just come to Earth, or come to planets, and systematically kill everyone while reproducing, and then that child then takes over another person's life. And they do that for the entire planet until they've taken the entire thing over. It's called Secret Invasion.
That's crazy.
And it's happened to us, where that was the first appearance of Ronin.
Yeah.
Which is Hawkeye's additional other form, where he's a Japanese-speaking samurai with a bow and arrow and a sword now.
You gotta go see the movie.
Ronin?
No.
Or Avengers?
Avengers.
Yeah, no, I know. Tommy still hasn't seen last one.
Well, then force him to watch it. You have a whole weekend ahead of you.
Yeah.
Skip a 5K that you guys like doing so much.
We don't have any 5Ks this weekend.
Good.
There
Watch
you
the
got the
movies.
movie.
There you go.
Well, after comic book day, because that's tomorrow.
Free comic book day tomorrow. Go hit up your local comic book shop. I'm not going to tell you which ones, because there's plenty out there, and you can find whichever one you like to, whichever one's participating. There are a bunch all around, but I don't have a list in front of me, as you can see. So
We just know our buddy's going to be at Yancey.
Tell you what, if you want to see a list of the comics you can go pick up, go watch Comic Book 101, which aired last night. I was on it, actually, which is fun. Go and watch Slink talk about it. He talks towards the end about it. He does a full list of all the comics you can go pick up and all the different brands, makes, models, and stuff like that. As well as variant arts and stuff like that you can go pick up for free. Just go pick up your free 5 comics out of like the 20 that the people are just giving away. So, have at that one. There's our plug for Comic Book Day. Happy?
Yay! Comic books.
Mike, stop talking. Was
Hey, it's so
referencing to
noisy.
you.
I was looking up something.
So Game of Thrones.
Don't
So are we
watch
done
it.
with Marvel?
Yeah, we can stop. I'm done with to quickly sum up Infinity War. I'm done. It's over. Done talking about it. I agree with the fans. A lot of plot holes. Doesn't mean it's a bad movie. I think the first one was better. I liked the first one a lot more. But it was a good wrap up to this. Good wrap up to the big bundle of friendship will always prevail bullshit that I don't like. And there we go. Now it's send off, and we're on to a new generation of heroes and shit like that.
Yay.
I'm just kind of whatever. I'm glad it's over. I'm tired. I feel tired of it.
22 movies.
It'll be
22
23
movies.
after
Holy shit.
Spider-Man.
Nope,
Wow.
not part of that universe anymore.
No, this one is. This
Is it a
ends.
Russo brother?
This one, yes.
Is it a
Russo
Russo
said
brother?
this
Oh.
one is the last movie of the whole series.
So
Good, 'cause
it
does
ties
that
up
one
what
make it
happens
more
to-
than 3,000 hours?
That makes
No,
it
it makes
3,000.
Oh, that makes it 3,000.
I'll
So
guarantee
that's
you
the only
that's
reason
why.
it's apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll guarantee you. Oh, yeah, Tony Stark's daughter, last thing she ever says to him is, I love you 3,000. And if you add up all, according to the few articles we read, if you add up all of the movie times all together, all the run times in minutes, you hit 3,000 minutes on the nose, which is a clever reference to his daughter saying, I love
Damn
you
you,
3,000. Boy, it's just like as if killing him off wasn't enough. You had to tug on our heartstrings by letting us figure out math, a week later. Thanks,
Right?
dickheads.
Game of Thrones?
So Game of Thrones. So do you watch?
I read.
You read? Okay.
I'm compared to where the show is, I am horribly behind because the books are a lot longer than the shows.
Are you aware of what's going on?
I'm
Okay,
people,
yeah.
having
So
sex with
Arya
everyone.
kicked ass and killed the Night King. Well, she snuck in at the end, but
There's
it was
the dragon glass knife, right?
yes, but it was super
Yeah.
cool the way she did it because he picked her up by the throat and he shoved her up against, and she dropped the dagger into her other hand and then stabbed him in the stomach with it. It's fucking awesome.
Why was her other hand pinned? Couldn't she just do it with her? Oh, unless he was holding her.
He was kinda because
He stopped the knife, stopped the hand. It was all like, ha ha.
Kinda, yeah,
I
and then
got
she
you
dropped
now,
the
and she just
knife.
drops into her. Boy,
It was pretty cool.
How old is the Night King? I feel like he should know that trick by now. Like
Right?
the desperate attempt of I'll throw my knife to the other hand.
He
I
was
feel
too
like
cocky.
I feel like you would throw her aside and grab the only thing that's gonna kill you. And be like, woo-hoo-hoo.
Nobody wanted to kill her because he was trying to get to her brother Bran. Well, whatever the fuck Bran is
Yeah,
now.
but there's the one knife in the world that can kill you, and you sit here and just go, ah ha ha, look, you have a knife made of it. Boy, I hope you don't know how to use it. It's not a very good defense.
No, it's not. But he killed a bunch of other people. He kept Jon Snow away. Honestly, I am so glad that he's not the one that killed the Night King. 'cause
Everyone wanted him to
He
be.
has had so many wins.
So much in the spotlight.
Yes.
You're tired
It's
of seeing
her
heroes
fucking turn. Let it be.
I'm really glad that Bree has finally joined the side of I'm tired of seeing heroes constantly win. God
Oh,
damn
no,
it.
I've always-
I'm okay with them losing a little bit. I've always rooted for villains sometimes where I'm just like, man,
Like,
I'm like,
they
I
have
see
to
what
win sometimes.
I see what the villain is going for, and I'm like, I'm okay with a hero losing in this case actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, what was that really bad Superman movie where
All
it
of
was the
them?
newer one. Yeah, you're right. You're right. The one where Lex Luthor makes a whole nother continent.
Quest for Peace?
No, it was
that
one,
where
of,
they
it was
make
one of
the-
the newer ones. It's not a Cavill one. It's
Oh,
right
the one
before.
with Brendan.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Where he
we
makes
don't
a whole
think
new
about that
continent.
movie.
I'm like, hold on. What is that continent going to do to the rest of the world? And they go, basically nothing. And I went, so he made more fertile land. And they go, yes. I'm like, is there soil? Can you grow stuff there? And they're like, yes. I'm like, can we
just
support
let it
wildlife
be.
there? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, and Superman just can't stand on it. That's the only person who's not allowed a Superman? They're like, yes. I'm like, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah.
That guy.
Who cares?
Like,
Okay,
okay, cool. All
have fun.
all the Batman fans go live in that one then. Easy peasy. I've got Marvel fans to the anti-kryptonite zone. Let's see your big boy do something now. Stanley is sitting here like, I'm the #1 investor, actually. And I'm just like, Yeah, no, it's some of the villains. I'm like, I don't see any downsides to your plans. Like, oh, you made a world where Superman can't. You made a continent that Superman can't come to.
That's really not
We
that bad,
did-
in the scheme of things.
Europe's doing that for people who aren't vaccinated, and that you guys aren't bitching about that.
Well, everybody does anyways.
Vaccinate your kids.
Yes. For real.
There's no excuse not to.
There's really not. The goddamn CDC. Like, okay. Anyway, so Arya kicked ass.
I'm really glad that we jumped to that real quick. Public service announcement from Nerd Talk: vaccinate your goddamn kids.
Please.
I don't like
All
kids
of
to
them.
begin with. I'll be honest with you. Vaccinate them anyway.
Yeah, they're already like walking petri dishes. Like literally
And
everything.
they touch everything.
Yes. Everything. Everything that you touch, they touched. I promise. And then they touch their butts, and then they touch their eyeballs, and then they touch
Get
things again.
pink eye.
Yes. Everywhere.
So vaccinate them.
So,
God damn it. It's
Yeah.
not hard.
It's really not. And it's really not that painful either. It's probably harder for you than it is for the kids.
They will not. Their memories have not even begun yet. They won't know what happened.
No, they really won't. It's fine. And then you're going to protect
you-
all the
do
people
you-
that can't get vaccinated
Do
because
you have
they
memories of
issues.
when you had your shots? I remember like 2 shots in my entire
Yeah, I
life.
remember a couple
like,
of 'em.
My mom's like, no, you went through all your vaccinations when you were young. I'm like, cool. I don't even remember them.
I remember some of them from when I was younger, when I was in like elementary and school.
I remember my
and stuff.
tetanus shot, and that hurt like a bitch. That was
Yeah,
about it.
I remember that one hurting like hell.
I don't know why. I'm like, it's a shot, isn't it? It's the same thing. And they're just like, well, yeah, kind of. Just
Some
goes
of
to a
them are different.
I'm like, why does that one hurt? Like, the
It's
rest of
so
us-
much worse than all the rest of them.
It's just like, all right, it's like, so here's a pinprick, here's a pinprick, here's a pinprick, here's a steak. And I'm just like, what have you
Well,
done?
I mean, at least we don't have what our parents have, that crazy polio vaccine thing with the little bumpy deals on their arm.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
anybody born in the mid 50s to early 60s has that.
Imagine still worrying about polio.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. See, that's why we don't have to worry about polio anymore. Is
And
these
to
people
think,
vaccinated
we
the
can get
goddamn
rid of
kids.
measles, we can get rid of we can get rid of so much stuff.
Yeah.
We can just get rid of it.
Poof,
we done with
gone.
it.
We would just listen
So
to the
Arya Stark-
scientists who go to school. Right?
The Starks had pretty solid success this weekend, I'd say.
Yes.
But
So-
both of them had some
Yes.
costs.
Well, yeah. And the red bitch showed up again, and she kind of saved the day, I guess. She lit up the goddamn show because did you see a lot of people complaining about it being really dark?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we watched it in a dark house, so it wasn't a problem for us, but she lit up everything because the dragons couldn't see anything. They were supposed to light up all this crap in the trenches around the castle.
Light the torches as you go. It's just like, okay, cool, we'll do.
Well, they wanted to do it at the last second because it was everything. They wanted to light the whole trench all the way around Winterfell as a last-ditch effort after they got all of their people back in the gates. And, okay, so they said, like, 15 times, the keep is the safest place in Winterfell. The crypt. Safest place
Let
in
me guess,
Winterfell.
that
Safest
wasn't.
place in Winterfell. So not. It's the Night King. He controls the dead. And you are surrounded by the dead. What do you think is going to happen? All the women and children and all the people that can't defend themselves are down in the crypts with all the dead people. And the Night King faces, I think he was facing Jon Snow again or something, and he just kind of goes like this, and everybody who's already died on the battlefield and then everybody dead in the crypts is just like,
just
"Hey,
gets
man."
up as a White Walker and is like, hey, what's up?
It was pretty cool. She lost another dragon. That was whatever. I am not a Daenerys fan anymore. Like, as the show is going on, I am not a Daenerys fan. She needs to not win anymore because her only goal is to sit on the Iron Throne. Like, she doesn't give two shits about anything else. She wants to be on the throne. End of story.
Who do you think will be on the throne when it's done?
Oh, God, I hope not her. Like, I don't want her to die.
Think Arya?
I don't think Arya wants it. I really
I'll
don't.
be completely honest, I'm not super caught up. Is Dinklage still alive?
Littlefinger, no.
Dinklage, Peter Dinklage?
Peter Dinklage,
That's
yes,
the
yes,
midget?
sorry.
All right, cool, let him sit up there. Actually,
think
He
preferably,
needs a
wants
step
to.
stool to get up there.
let him stand up there so he's the same height as everyone else.
I don't think he wants to either, and Jon doesn't want to either. I think it
Because
would
so
be
far,
Sansa.
it doesn't seem like a pretty cool place.
I think Sansa's
It's a
more
pretty shitty
likely.
spot, it seems. It's just like, boy, the second you sit down, everyone in the room starts conspiring against you.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit there either. Like
Right?
that.
Yeah. Well, and Brienne of Tarth made it. She survived. Yeah. I love her. She's amazing, and she got knighted. Yes. So this is going to be this week's episode.
Oh, we have a trailer for it? We have a trailer for it?
Yeah.
Eh, let's roll it.
We have won the Great War. Now we will win the last war. We'll rip her out root and stem.
So
fast, all right.
now they're going to have to. Now everybody who's left after fighting all the dead crazy people has to fight Cersei and her batshit crazy army. And she has hired the. I don't remember what they're called. I'm not good at this. I swear to God. People that remember all the names of the different, like. Factions and all the different characters. There's like 500 different characters. I swear to God, people that remember all of these, they're on speed or something. There's no way. No way.
It makes me grateful that World of Warcraft reuses characters over and over and over and over and over again.
Remember all the
I got
names.
like 9 important people I gotta remember, and the last one I can be who?
There
Didn't we kill him 2 X-Packs ago? They're like, yeah, basically.
Many. Like, and half of them, I'm like, yeah, the one chick that always wears the red thing. Like,
yeah,
that's the extent of it. The unsullied dude. I
See,
don't know
you
what his name
can't
is.
you
Kramer.
can't make fun of
I
me
just
for
remembered
calling people Dude McDude, by the way, then, because that's exactly how I get
it. I
around that.
appreciated
It's like,
it. I
Dude
thought it
McDude.
was funny. Yeah, I'm really bad at the names. But Cersei, I really hope that somebody, like, I hope somebody kills her violently. Very violently. My personal preference is probably not show appropriate, but I hope she dies really violently because she deserves it. She's great.
It's a yikes for me. That's a that's a yikes for me. Oh God.
I don't know, it's really weird because there's this dark-haired dude now that's with her, and I don't know what his deal is, but he's like, oh, he wanted to have sex with the queen, and he's just trying to get what he wants because that's what everybody wants, because he thinks that if he marries her, then he's going to be king, and he has no idea that if he tries to take that away from her, she's probably going to cut his dick off.
Make sexy time with queen, become king, easy peasy.
Yeah, basically.
This is short man to riches, yeah.
Yeah, that is totally this guy's, like, entire motivating force right now.
So he's being motivated purely by greed and his penis.
Yes, 1,000%.
A combination of both of those.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Respectable.
Yeah, he's not thinking with the right brain. He's just, like, being led.
It's got the wrong head leading him.
He really does. Really does.
That's not TOS. Oh, boy.
So, but yeah, it's really good so far. That's what the 4th episode is coming up, and there's only 2 more after that because we've only got 6 or 7 episodes. Bullshit. Theon Part 2. I am super bummed that Theon died. So Reek died.
I have no clue who those are.
I know. Well, he died, and I was a little bit bummed.
Well, now you know how we feel about Endgame.
But I know who the characters are, at least in
I have a
that.
general idea of who everyone is. I just call everyone by their actor's name now. Like Dinklage is Dinklage.
Yeah. Well, Theon is Alfie Allen, I think. The scrawny guy. He got his all of his junk cut off by Crazy Pants that got his face eaten off by the dogs.
All right. The Hound?
No.
Oh.
No. But the Hound saves Arya, helps to save Arya. That was pretty cool.
I like him. I don't think he's... I like him as
I
a
like the
character.
Hound. I have always liked the Hound. Because even for all of his grumbling and shit about Arya, he really liked her.
In his ugly ass face.
Yeah. His jacked up fire. Oh, and like everything's on fire and he's terrified of fire. So he was losing his shit for part of the battle and just standing
so he's Frankensteining it.
Yeah, he was terrified.
Fire! Just like Frankenstein just running through. Ah! No one told me there'd be fire. Well, it's medieval times. Flashlights haven't been invented yet.
And
it's kind of all we got there,
dragons.
bud. We have dragons fighting our side. By the way, friendly fire is a huge deal in this case.
Yes.
Don't run into it.
Well, and the red lady, she comes in and she's the one who sets the stuff on fire. And then I was so happy at the end. So she didn't get killed. She just died. I was really bummed. But she just took her stupid little necklacey thing off and she kept walking. And then, because she's actually like 500 years old. And so time finally caught up with her and she died as she's walking out of Winterfell.
That
'Cause
sounds
she
like
took her necklace
Liliana
on.
from Magic.
Yeah.
The
It
Veil.
was really dumb. It was really dumb. I wish that Davos had been able to kill her because she set that little girl on fire. She killed that one little girl because she said that it was for some spell thing. And he tutored the little girl. He was like her mentor or something, and he wanted to kill her. I really wish that he had been able. Ramsey, yes, thank you. Yeah, Ramsey
you're
is the one
saying
that got
she
his
needed to get
face ate
stabbed
off by a
by-
dog.
Oh. Okay,
Ramsey
I
Bolton.
gotcha. So what you're saying is she needed to get stabbed like multiple times over, just like.
Yeah, she needed a slow death with fire because she's like she was a priestess of the Lord of Light or something. I don't know. I don't like her.
Oh, die in darkness, then, asshole.
Yeah, I didn't like her.
May
She
your
was
greatest fears become your death. Become your tomb.
awful. But yeah, so Game of Thrones. We're close to the end, and now I want to read all the books.
Good luck. He's a fantastic author, but I swear to God, if I read one more page of him describing an entire apple, just like a page and a half devoted to one apple, and he did that for every item on the table at the feast. I skipped 50 pages, and he's still describing the
Oh
feast.
my God.
I'm like, fuck off.
That's awful. I'm really good at skimming when I read. I think that's part of the reason I read so fast because I'll just kind of skip through. And if
Get
I
the
get to a
general
part and I
idea.
feel like I've missed something, I'll jump back up. But yeah, I don't care what the food looks like. I'm not eating it, so I don't give a shit.
It's like the glisten of the dew on the apple's leaf. This is like it's like slowly drip down the stem, getting to the luscious apple. It's just like all right.
No, we're okay. we
You're
don't
making
need
this
it.
creepy as hell. First of all, it's an apple, and I feel uncomfortable. It's Game of Thrones, not 50 Shades of Grey. Let's move on.
Well,
here.
it's damn near 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, I get it. Everyone likes sleeping with their cousins. It's a lot like the South.
Or West Virginia.
I
I
said
guess
that.
that's kind of the South.
It's close enough.
I think they consider it the South.
It's the West South.
Yeah.
It's the West South. It's not in the West. It's in the East. But okay, sure.
I
Let's
will go with that.
Just go with it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Who cares? It's west of Virginia, I guess. Kinda.
Ish, sorta.
For the
It's
most
like
part.
a part of it.
It's close enough.
Yeah. It's fine.
Is
We
that
got it.
sleeping with your cousins? Is that how Sonic gets born? From the new movie?
Are we jumping to Sonic?
We totally can. That was a really shit segue, but we can totally jump to Sonic.
He looks horrible.
I was gonna jump to axes and beheading people. I'm like, because
That's
we're-
even better.
Because we're still murdering people violently. We'll just move on to the next thing for honor. Say we won't leave the medieval era just yet. We've got a new hero in For Honor has dropped. I talked about For Honor quite a few times on this show. Our new hero has dropped, the Sakurai or the Hiroshiki. I believe that's how I pronounce that. I could be pronouncing it absolutely wrong. I'll be honest. I have no idea how to pronounce this one. I went and played like 6 games of her. Went and recorded footage, and all the footage corrupted while I was editing it. So
Oh no.
I got nothing except a trailer. Let's have it, Rob.
Wretched warriors, nothing more than flesh and bones. You no longer need to suffer. I offer you peace and salvation. Be not afraid. Your soul is now mine.
Ish. Yep.
That is the Sakura. She is she
That's pretty
is,
cool.
It is a female. It's another gender locked character, which means it can only be female. You cannot customize it, make it male.
What's the dealy thing across her face here?
It's a rope.
Oh, just.
It's just a rope.
Okay.
She's very creepy. I'll be honest with you. You guys heard her voice. I know these two did not really hear. I think Bree may have heard because she has
A
to
little
in here.
bit.
Yeah, she talks like way up here, and it's really, really unsettling to listen to while you're fighting people because she's just like, "We will kill them all," and I'm just like, "All right, there, Satan, calm down. Put the mask on. Keep it on. Don't talk." The For Honor's also added like it's a part I can't get past. They've added a little bit more gore to the game and the idea of as you get hit, your character used to just get like big blood patches, but now they have like physical injuries. So for like the characters who are wearing armor, you see dents in the armor, you see cuts in the armor, you see it start to split apart and blood start coming out of that as you play. She's a cloth character, which means she only wears cloth, leather, nothing. She just kind of has skin. I ate an axe wrong, and one of her damage animation is just a solid split down the center of her head, and you just see this mushy substance. I'm like, is that your fucking brain? Because that's really, really hard to concentrate on the enemy now when I'm looking at a literal watermelon slice taken out of your goddamn head. I'm like, how are we still alive? And she's like, I commune with the spirits. And I'm like, okay, see, stop that. Stop that right now. Stop talking to spirits. Stop summoning voodoo magic. We all learn from World of Warcraft. Don't mess with the voodoo. We all learn from Evil Dead. Don't play with dead things. We learn from Pet Cemetery. Don't bury your pets in something called a pet cemetery where they can't spell the word cemetery right. Just stop. If you see a creepy cat lead you somewhere, don't go there. Just it ain't there to help. It's not Cheshire Cat. He's not there to help you.
See, I can't help it with the cats. I have to touch the cat.
If it's a creepy ass cat with its head like spun around all the way, and its eye twitching and one eye's like bulged out, like, no, leave it alone. If it looks like a zombie cat, leave the fucking thing alone.
Yeah.
That's basically what this chick is about. A lot of her. She's the executioner though. I really like that concept. She has a unique trait to her as while she's going through her executions in front of her. A lot of times, a hero can interrupt it by just smacking them. You hit them and they get pulled out of the execution. Not her. She has something called hyper armor. She can't be knocked out of the execution, which means if she starts it, your teammate's dead. Just dead. You're not coming. Just you get to basically watch them or just hit her as much as you can to make her lose health before she kills them. Because I'll guarantee as soon as she looks up at you, she's going to try and make you next. She's really silly. I love her. Her fourth feet is so funny. You activate her fourth feet. She does like 3 fucking front flips for some reason, and then just jumps in the air and dunks you on the head with the axe, insta killing you.
Oh.
I'm like, I was playing with it today, and I'm just like, oh, I wonder, this guy's got like shields on him, but underneath the shield, you can see his health is really low. I'll just activate it while he's fighting my friend. This dude didn't see it coming. He's sitting there. He's focused on my teammate, just like, oh yeah. He's like, my teammate's super low. He's like, I got you right where I want you. And all of a sudden, thunk to the top of his head. And I'm like, oh, that killed him. Sweet, easy. And my teammate just writes, lol, nice. And I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, what's the cooldown on this? I'm like, only 2 minutes. That's not long enough. I can do this way too often.
That's cool.
Often. Oh, and let's also not forget, it is dodgeable. Don't worry. You're not just going to eat that and, have to deal with it every 2 minutes. Except for the fact that if she misses, it comes off cooldown instantly. So she just gets it right back. So part 2, we're going to do it again.
So she misses, you get to try again immediately?
Yeah. Over and over
awesome.
until you either succeed or someone kills you. Because while you're doing it, because you're doing the whole front flip thing, people can smack you. People can hit you, and you don't have that much health. You're going to die eventually by doing that. But it's really funny in team fights when you get that one unlucky person who's not paying attention to you, and you just decide, you're going to die. You stand just outside of sight range. You start the animation. Your character does like, the Olympic style sprinting triple backflip across the map, going corner to corner, and then dunks the axe on your head. She asks you a question, and now you're dead. It's hilarious. I think her playstyle is really funny. She sweeps people's legs out from underneath them for some reason. I don't get that part at all. She's an axe wielding character trying to be all like gymnastic like, but it reminds me of those builds where, like in Dark Souls, where you're just naked except for underwear, but you have like a massive sword, and you're just like, don't worry, this is the only thing that I'm wearing, so this is the only thing that's contributing to weight, and you're just hauling ass to the level, just like, please don't hit me, please don't hit me. You play the game of, if I deal enough damage, you die before I die, and we're okay. Yeah, it's she's creepy. She's tons of fun. I like her a lot. I like her a lot more than I should. She's a lot of fun because she's just so stupid. She's pretty brain dead. I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to playing some characters, you have to kind of like have an edge up on them. You have to try and think ahead. It's still a fighting game. You still have to predict. Nah. I just throw heavies. I throw heavies and chain in lights every now and then, and it works flawlessly because people are like, because you can charge your heavies, you can not charge your heavies, but it doesn't matter because all of her heavies have hyper armor. So if someone tries to interrupt you, it's not going to work. They're just going to eat a heavy to the face.
Nice.
It is a brilliant game design. Good job, Ubisoft. You made another character that's going to be heavily frustrating for people to fight. Lawbringer and Raider both got their reworks. I don't play either one of them, though, so I really can't give much information on them. I know Lawbringer he looks better than before. He's a bit more frustrating to fight now. He's a lot less turtly. He can go in harder on things.
Less turtly?
Yeah, turtling in For Honor is where you kind of just stand there and just block and wait for someone to mess up.
Oh.
It's a very boring play style. It's like, come on, try and do something.
Yeah.
Like you just because there's not much chip damage, is whatever. It doesn't do a lot, but chip damage can't kill. I'm like in a fighting game, so it's kind of like I feel like I'm just wasting my time with you. So a lot of times I'm just running to another enemy and trying to fight them instead. Turtles are really unfun. So she breaks turtles up pretty hard, because she just starts wailing on you, and you have to start reacting as those unblockables come out. But Lawbringer's got more tools to his kit now, so he can start attacking people a bit more. He doesn't have to turtle up so often. Raider's got soft feints into guard breaks into shit, and that's frustrating to fight as it is. So I like the changes. I'll probably give them a try out this weekend.
Cool.
Might even see them on stream if I decide to take a break from finals. It's an awful time of year, by the way.
It is. How many classes do you have?
2. Just doing
Not so
2, but one of them requires an entire website to be built from the ground up. So,
Yeah, I don't miss school at all for any reason.
I'm good. All right. Speaking of butchering things,
Yes.
we'll go to the last
God,
butchered
Sonic.
product. We're gonna jump to Sonic because man, the devs butchered
Well,
this one.
hold on. Before we do that, let's do my women nerd thing, and then we can jump to Sonic. We've got like 4 minutes, I think.
I think we have less than that, but we can go over if we want. So just let's roll that, and we'll see how much time we have after that.
Cool. All right. Hey, welcome, Nerdites. This is Historically Nerdy Women, and this week I am going to tell you about Ada Lovelace. Lovelace. She is the only legitimate child of the poet Lord Byron and his wife, and she was a successful mathematician and writer he was a successful mathematician and writer in the 19th century. She was born Augusta Ada Byron in December of 1815. Lord Byron left her mother only a month after she was born and then died when she was 10, and she never saw him again after that first month. She is considered one of the first computer programmers, and she is the first published computer programmer in history. Her mother required tutors to teach her science, math, though such subjects were not often taught to girls. Ada was intrigued by machines and engines and even designed the first aerial steam carriage 15 years before it was patented by William Henson and John Stringfellow. She was only 12. Her mother didn't want her to succumb to the moodiness her father wallowed in, so she would be forced to lie perfectly still for long periods of time to enhance her self-control. One of her tutors was Mary Somerville, who was one of the first women admitted into the Royal Astronomical Society. Ada met Charles Babbage, a mathematician and inventor, in 1831, and he mentored her for many years. He is known as the inventor of the computer, and she was given early insight into his difference engine for computing complex mathematical calculations. At the time, mathematicians had to rely on handwritten number tables to perform logarithmic and trigonometric calculations, which sometimes had errors, causing the final conclusion to be incorrect. She was incredibly brilliant for her time, and she translated a French article by Italian engineer Luigi Menabrea on Babbage's machine. She translated it into English, corrected all the errors, and even added her own thoughts and ideas. She had become an expert on the theoretical machine by studying all of his plans along with him while he was creating it. When all of her editions were finished, the final article that she published was 3 times longer than the original. When this paper was published, it cemented her in history as the first person to publish instructions that a computing device could use to determine an end result that had not been calculated beforehand. There were very many automata, in the time that could do specific things that had been calculated ahead of time. She also theorized a method for the engine to repeat a series of instructions, a process known as looping that computer programs use today. She also offered up other forward-thinking concepts in the article. For her work, she is often considered to be the first computer programmer. Towards the end of her life, she was not quite as successful as she wanted to be, and she tried to use her mathematical prowess to cheat at gambling, but was unfortunately not as successful as she wanted to be. Her contribution to computing was unknown until the 1950s when B.V. Bowden republished her notes. She has received much posthumous recognition, including in 1980 when the Department of Defense named a new computer language, Ada, in her honor. She has also been referred to as the prophet of the computer age. Though many of her ideas came from direct interaction with Babbage, she went further than he did and speculated that if a machine can compute numbers, it can create music as well when given specific guidelines, and even had ideas about the computer using more than just numbers and using symbols as well. The analytical engine, she said, weaves algebraic patterns just as the Jacquard loom weaves flowers and leaves. The second Tuesday in October is now Ada Lovelace Day, on which the contributions to women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics are honored. Babbage used to call her the Enchantress of Numbers, and she has been called the fairy tale princess of mathematicians. And her notes were actually a critical document that Alan Turing used to inspire his work on computers, although his being about 100 years later, he had access to a lot more information and was able to take it even further. And that is all on Ada Lovelace.
Because the regular game is just wild stuff.
Hey, we're back.
Hey, good
What's
countdown,
up?
Brie. I liked it a lot.
Right?
So, I was saying, we come back just to end, by the way. So,
Yeah.
that is this week's show. We're out of time, unfortunately. We would go a little bit longer, but we're a short crew tonight. We don't have Brad and Boss Tech. Boss Tech's out working on a surprise over in Tampa. And Brad's just slacking as usual. Just absolutely skipping
He
out the
was
show.
watching earlier.
Saying, you guys aren't cool enough for me. Making
Mom.
Brad look like a bad guy.
Right. And I'm hangry, so.
Yeah, say so. Needless to say, that's where we're going to wrap the show up for the night. It's been fun. We'll see you all next week with some more content and some more fun stuff to talk about.
Happy
And
Cinco de Mayo. Don't be stupid. You have to work on Monday.
what she said. Bye, everybody. Woo!